people from my class who I have to say I don't recognize without your masks on. It's quite delightful to see your smiles and also see you as almost entirely new people to me. And I'm really pretty happy with this class in general. It has been an extraordinary group of poets and an extraordinary group of people from all over the world and from so many different perspectives. And and you have taught me a lot about voice and poetry and identity and community. And I think taught each other as well. So I'm really excited to hear your poem tonight, and I am also really excited, though perhaps slightly less so, which is saying a lot because I am quite excited to eat the food that you have brought after. This will be recorded and I guess is being live streamed. So anyone who would rather not have their poem or their presence on the internet in this way, would you let me know? And apparently that can be removed. We can somehow address it and it doesn't have to be. So please tell me that. And I actually am going to introduce you, and I think, Callie, you're going to go. Where are you, Callie? There. You are going to go first. After this introduction, I'm going to introduce you all by reading aloud the ghazal that you all wrote together. And for those of you who don't know, the ghazal is an Arabic form. This is a class on poetic forms, on prosody, so on forms, traditional forms of meter and poetic forms that we've been experimenting with throughout. So tonight you're going to hear some villanelles, some sonnets, some poems in pentameter, and some pantoums and some sestinas, and also some ghazals. And I'm going to read a ghazal now that this class wrote together. And one of the principles of the ghazal is that it has the same end word as the last word at the second line of every couplet, and that it should not, those couplets in the ghazal should not have anything to do with each other thematically. They should be able to stand completely alone. So it is surprising and deeply delightful to then discover in the reading of it how something that stands absolutely alone and is intended to have nothing to do with anything else but be entirely itself also belongs quite undeniably and surprisingly to what is around it. And I have found that to be also a real theme of this class and the people in it in ways that I will not forget. So thank you. Deeply thank you. All right. Are you ready for a Thanksgiving ghazal? Excellent. Also, thank you to the second row that is really presenting as the first row. I really appreciate that energy. Thank you. A Thanksgiving ghazal. I spent 5 hours binge watching Sex Lives of College Girls with Strangers. It's a foreign word, but a familiar concept this Thanksgiving. I turned 20, and there were 2 candles on my cake for the 2 decades that I've been alive. It's hard to find reasons to be thankful when you spent most of your time like a loose tooth in a toddler's mouth. But today it's Thanksgiving. I finished the rest of the pumpkin pie. I remember how much I love the food on Thanksgiving. On breaks like this, I still never expect what everyone else expects. I learned what I did and didn't outgrow this Thanksgiving. I discovered my dad's love for Black Mirror, and I built a glorious pillow fort with my cousins on Thanksgiving. My robot cousins cried. Who knew they had that function? My little brother set the tone at the table on Thanksgiving. My little brother is much less little than I'd remembered. The air was thick with the aroma of time, and with time itself. Oh, Thanksgiving. My baby cousin ate more grilled cheese than I thought possible. For the first time, I didn't sit next to my grandmother on Thanksgiving. I lost to my younger cousin at Jeopardy! The day was covered in laughs and smiles as we ended Thanksgiving. We played cards on the hotel carpet, barefoot, leaving us empty stations. The trains were home on Thanksgiving. My brother-in-law doesn't know what my sister whispers to me. The evenings now always feel like Thanksgiving. Let me read both couplets again. My brother-in-law doesn't know what my sister whispers to me. The evenings now always feel like Thanksgiving. Josh wore Mom's vest, so Uncle Dave asked if he's gay. The kitchen has no windows, so I'm not sure what to say about the sky on Thanksgiving. No dinner or plans or Palestinian spots for dinner. The first Thanksgiving without samosas. B-train Thanksgiving. I left and then returned to America with an expired visa. I have never celebrated Thanksgiving. My dad got the flu, so we stayed home. This year, there was no Thanksgiving. I read a book about a person stuck in their own head. It's hard to remember it's Thanksgiving. Chaos we baked as twilight played, and fires scored our throats. We covered our glistening, watery eyes as Edward Scissorhands made it snow on Thanksgiving. So with that introduction to this class and our Thanksgiving, I would ask you to give it up for everyone in the Poetic Forms course, and to begin, Callie.
Waves. You always said you adored the ocean. I always whispered the waves frightened me. And now I understand the beauty of the salt-spraying cerulean billow. You always said you adore green olives. I always despised their slimy surface. And now I savor the tang and relish in the peculiar soul of the pit. You always said that you adore whiskey. I always hate it after when we kiss. Now I comprehend the simplicity of what was merely just not meant to be. The waves surrendered, I float in the peace. I mean, we won't forget each other, right? Thank you.
Irma, would you all mind saying what kind of poem you're reading, what form or?
Okay. I'm going to be reading a villanelle called That in Aleppo Once, and I'll just preface this with an epigraph from Othello. Set you down this, and say besides that in Aleppo once, where malignant and turbaned Turk beat a Venetian and traduced the state, I took by the throat the circumcised dog, and smote him thus. That in Aleppo once. Wherever we traveled, I never did admit it. We did dirty Europe, bet on horses and hounds, kvetched over porcelain and rarebit. On the pier, in a train, on the floodlit stones of the plaza, he chased me round with brickbats and bottles, but I did not admit it. It's a hideous life. I feel my spirit, knotted to his tie, that fabric bound, to be ruined by red wine and rabbit. If only I could make him inhabit something small, a coffin in the ground. Not that I would ever admit it. I smile and let the hatred sit. Someday I'll tell my ladies it was a sound union. Pity we never made it. Under the table, I use my foot to crush his foot. Let slip, I eagerly await our end. Whatever cell I sit in, I will not admit it, not even to spin a sly little tidbit.
would you also maybe say your name and then the form?
Okay. My name is Fatma, and this poem is inspired by the naming ceremony by Sherman Alexie, so it's like my own take on it. Okay. The sounding ceremony. My Arabic name is That's Not How You Pronounce It, so let me help you sound it out. My Arabic name is Hasn't Grown an Inch since 6th grade. My Arabic name is Stop Calling Me Fat Man, it's Fatma. My Arabic name is No, It Doesn't Have an I, although every other Arabic name, Sara, Ali, Aisha, is spelled how it sounds. My Arabic name is sound. My Arabic name is found. My Arabic name is ground. That is, my name has been run into the ground of 2 locations. My Arabic name is in Brooklyn, where Mama says, come make dinner for your siblings. Is in Khartoum, where she says, lock the gates so robbers don't get our gold. My Arabic name is Flatbush Smells Like Jamaican Food and Cocoa Butter. But Baba says nothing beats goat feces on the side of the road in Bahri. My Arabic name is Mama Recites Tabarak, while we wait to be picked up for school when I was 8. But buses in Sudan have fur-covered chairs and no locking doors. And in this cement city, I smell something so like home, at home. And my Arabic name is I have to fly 12 hours to reach home. But Brooklyn's Italian ice cream and thin crust pizza and netless basketball hoops are home. And Khartoum's asking sun and feeble milkman and late night shy with fried dough are home. My Arabic name is Tell Me How Long It Takes to Get Home. Will you come with me? My Arabic name is Poverty in My Homes Are Crippling. My Arabic name is My Brother Took 5 years to learn dribbling. He has flat feet and waddles like a lazy cat. My Arabic name is Oldest of 5, but my mother miscarried before me, and I am guiltily grateful. My Arabic name is Elated to Meet You. Are we cousins? My Arabic name is Cousins on my father's side are creepy. And of course, the one uncle who kisses babies for a bit too long, and I would have said something, but nobody believes kids. My Arabic name is I've always wanted 8 kids. My Arabic name is C-sections run in the family, so that's no longer a dream. My Arabic name is Dream. My Arabic name is Always Picked Last for a team. My Arabic name is Boys Like You When They're Mean. But he hit my head during volleyball, Miss Wilson, and I saw stars and shaking lights in my periphery. My Arabic name is I Can See God in My Periphery, with all the atmospheres in his hands and all mountains experiencing epiphany, with oceans whispering at his command and ship sails becoming slippery. My Arabic name is If I Forget to Pray Isha, I'd befriend misery. Feelings are fog and passive and lean into my ribs, all jittery. My Arabic name is Everything Feels Like Passive Impression. My Arabic name is My Dad Always Resorts to Aggression. My Arabic name is Pulling My Scarf as a Joke is a Transgression. But she said I deserved it because I kept calling her fat, which she was, but I was annoying and I was a brat, and I'm not allowed to be a victim with skin this matte. Dear Lord, their petty crimes buzz in my ears like gnats. Unless I'm not. Who's to say? My Arabic name is Say It Without an I. Thank you.
Hello. Yes. Hi, everyone. My name's Jack. Today I'm going to be reading you a sestina, which is a 39-line poem, so bear with me. This poem is called Almighty. The river bends slowly, defiantly. Its smile, all-seeing, unflinching, deepens with time. The bastard son of tectonic plates and rainfall harbors no allegiance. The source of life. Flora and fauna pray before it, the god of this terrain. Been eons since the dawn of its reign. The ancient trees on its banks smile, tell the birds their stories, pray, to reach ever skyward, outlive time. They speak of their fathers, lost to the course, remembering the days when titans fell. A black bear sets out on a new fall, its chest to the world, challenging the terrain. It roars until the elk recall its force. The invincible river slyly smiles, professing a lesson as old as time. All predators turn to prey. Diving from the clouds, the osprey snares a feast from ice water as winter falls. Its southbound flight tells of changing times, as snowfall triumphs over freezing rain. Though a glance yields the river, frozen for miles, it laughs beneath its surface, races through its course. The first thaw of spring leaves sediment coarse, but for Flora, this time is an answer to prayer. The river gathers orchids to decorate its smiles, and willows to crown the sides of its falls. Its subjects bow, genuflect like the rain. Careless, it surges, unfeeling of time. The river, displeased from time to time, imposes its will, diverts its course, splits its streams, its basins drain, its countless dependents, wise to pray, watch homes unearthed and perches fall. Their God, from its new comfort, smiles. The river flows like time itself. Merciless, it sweeps its prey along its course, undaunted as the ages fall. So long as clouds supply their rain, the proud and ageless river smiles.
Can I ask you all also, would you mind turning off your phones or putting your phones away unless you want to video the poet, which you probably do, with their permission. But otherwise, do you mind saving your phone time for later because this takes so much guts? Thank you.
Hey everyone, my name's Josh, and I'm also reading a Sestina, which is a 39-line poem characterized by like 6 groups of 6 and then 3 lines at the end. Ode to Jerusalem. Walls of ancient stone shed pebble tears and spit blood like olive pits every once in a while. All so the wailers and peddlers can pour their coffee in peace and pray in their peace, with hands that jam crinkled dreams into the kotel creases in the heart of the old city. The land where maps are constantly redrawn and memories pry at the portal gates, begging to escape. We've lost so much, Jerusalem, but not your scent. Spices and starbuzz pull wandering hands round narrow bands. Jerusalem meets the summer sunset with crimson tears. Over the years, chessboards emerged, jewelry too. Enigmatic, my brothers draw travelers into the haggler's lairs, where 50 shekel price elicits a scoff. Meanwhile, the deepest prayers you've ever known pierce the air. From Al-Aqsa to the wall, the guards keep vigilant watch of it all, protecting the peace. Sometimes you tail the Haredim too far and discover a new piece of the same city, where Judaica doesn't sell, and Yerushalayim goes by Al-Quds. They tread fearlessly, like warriors east of the wall, to study the Torah to tears. Why shouldn't you be at ease? Tuck your necklace for a while. Enjoy the shuk. You'll know it's time to withdraw when Jerusalem rubs itself raw, like usual, and weary glances give warnings that peace has gone, shattered into a million shards and worthwhile, some would say, with the divine mandate of Jerusalem, plotting this street, that street. All of it. Each block more important than the kotel. But when you're actually there within the walls, old murmurs speak to you much louder than new drawls, going on and on, boring you to tears. There's something beyond the tension that exudes peace in this city of old religion, Jerusalem, where plans have come and gone a great while longer than we wild folks have made it seem, thumping on the kotel to a drum of our own making. The only place we really can, the holy city of the Promised Land. For that very reason, each year we're drawn, like flies, to our modern milk and honey peace, flowing in, opposite the tears. Once you have Jerusalem for a while, you can't withdraw. You can pray again. The kotel was the missing piece. Whatever storm may brew in Jerusalem can wait. Another day will come to collect your tears. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Celine, and I'm going to be reading a villanelle. Unsent. I didn't learn how I would have to hold myself tightly in empty rooms until her fear threw a peach, flesh and fruit bruising one another. Then you came, an illegible lesson on how even the unborn can consume. I learned survival felt like holding myself tightly in empty rooms, the first time I viewed my mother as an art installation swinging by the wire. In the painting, she's a lone ranger with a smoking gun. Her regret blooms. I wrote letters to you after you caught me. You were bleeding too, I assumed. In my letters, I dreamed of meaning more to you than a body or a mystic, but I can't finish any of the letters before drowning in the illegible. It consumes. Years after I discovered survival, I held myself tightly in another empty room because my mother saved me from someone other than herself once, which showed me how people could believe in such a thing as God. Years ago, I left home with no plan to return to the Lonely Ranger and her groom. I planned to write a love poem for the first time and mean it, but then I met you, so I still don't know how to because the empty room is now a dark, dark room. And still, we are an illegible story I wrote both ends of to escape what consumes.
Hi, everyone. I'm Emily. I'm reading a ghazal. Mullet ghazal. Kevin wants to be a mullet. All party in the back, all business in the front. Ask me who I am. I am itchy. On the first date, I zipped up my sweater in the front. I melt down to a flute. He plays with his eyes closed. I never let him near my neck. I wanted to be a turkey on Thanksgiving. My wishbone tucked in a napkin at the front. The first time he told me what to eat, he taught me what I knew about salt, about business transactions. Collaborative, cooperative, multinational, million-dollar front. I slid down the hot green playground slide. My thighs stuck and Band-Aid ripped off. On the 4th of July, Kevin asked me to eat a hot dog. The grill was all grime in the front. He touches me and I sit awake. I practice my business in Hebrew until God grants me you. Ask you who you are. You are cortisone. On the first date, I unzipped my sweater in the front. This Thanksgiving, Grandma hands me a wishbone to snap. I make every Hebrew wish I know for you. Let you near my neck, and I forget how to speak Hebrew. Forget transactions and salt. Forget fronts. Ask Mommy who I am. Emmy didn't cry when she was born. My eyes were wide and dead. Mommy never trusted a mullet. Your hair is the same length in the back and in the front.
Hello, I'm Sam. I'll be reading a sonnet titled Tides. The peaceful sound of water crashing on the shore, so consistent, always one after the other. Why resist them if there will just be another? The water, still cold from seasons past, and wave after wave engulfs all of you. Each can dig up memories and feelings that always last. With each one getting bigger, you forget what to do. Each wave brings with it more stress, something you failed at, or a responsibility left undone. You know that no one can be the best, but those feelings never leave. There's nowhere to run. But just like a storm, they always settle down, and eventually it's time to get back up off the ground.
Hi, y'all. My name's Kendall, and I'm reading a poem I originally wrote a little while ago, freeform, but I reimagined it in blank verse for the sake of this class. The poem is called Nightlife, and it's for my mama. Nightlife. My mama croons a slowly summer night. The air is clinging all up on her thighs, whole time she's sitting out inside the dark, her hair done up in curls. She wearing one of daddy's shirts. A silent storm has formed to breathe her voice. He blushes purple heat and tries to keep his thunder rumble soft. That hungry yellow moon is acting shy. He sneaks a peek from back behind the pines and shields himself with white from cotton clouds, his hollow eyes on Mama as she sings. There ain't no soul who really know just why she's singing now. She may be scaring off coyotes come to eat tomorrow's grain. Or maybe could she want to join the loud of crickets and cicadas making love and pools of blue the afternoon forgot to take away. She could want to taste the water vapor in the air, so thick the earth can't hardly breathe. I like to think she getting kind of flirty with the moon, but Mama probably singing just to sing.
Hello, everyone. My name is Agha Dotson, and I'm also a person who stutters. So if you hear me repeat anything or block on a word, it's because I'm a person who stutters, and so I'm going to be reading a villanelle. It's called Wherever I Can't Be. I become my blue jacket myself, me. I lose my olive keyboard of fear. Here I am loved, here I am free to see. Outside my mother waters the periwinkles that cuddle the tree. Protruding through the ground, golden leaves of honey appear. I become my blue jacket myself, me. My blue jacket is my safety, my comfort. It is me. The fluorescent light of fear riddles the night with drear, but I am loved here. I am free to see. Suddenly, I hear the screams of silver bullets. This is the end, they decree. The once steady ground begins to tear. I become my blue jacket myself, me. I wrap a cold blanket around me. Her arms surround me tightly, and everything becomes clear. Here I am loved, here I am free to see. I made it, that is key. I am here, but some did not have that luxury. I become my blue jacket myself, me. Where I am loved, where I am free to see. Thank you.
Hi, I'm JoJo, and I am going to be reading a sonnet called Outgrowing. Outgrowing. When I'm 16, I get to learn to drive on tattered, grass-lipped back roads with no signs, between the loudest trees, horses, beehives, peonies, fence posts, orchards make my shrine. Complain about the narrow, no-line holes, but I've never found charm on the highway. Worse for the car, more fitting for the soul. March raindrops, dandelions swell in May. I swear my palm lines grow to mirror curves, uncut tree shade, lovely light pouring in. At nighttime, for deer, rabbits, birds, I swerve. The road home is engraved deep in my skin. In due course, I reach the highway and I grieve. But what opens all up is the sky.
Hello, I'm Julian. I'm a little sick, so bear with me. This is a pantoum called She Weathers. She has beaten the storm, but the wind still leaves her cold down into her bones, where the cat can't lick her warm the wind still leaves her. Choking on her breath here, where they can't catch liquor from her mouth lest she, near, choking on her breath, hears, "I'm so glad you're home," or, from her mouth, less sincere, "Glad I dodged the downpour. I'm so glad you're home more." She comes to from when she was dogged by downpour and storm-ridden esprit. She comes to the end she finds in the looking glass, a storm-ridden banshee. What I see when I pass, looking into the glass she left empty for years, I can only see past the thing that she fears. She left to me for years a storm undisturbed home. But I fear what she fears. I fear being alone. She has eaten the storms that she weathered alone. She walks through the downpour, folded into her bones. When I hear thunder, I know that I'm home.
Hi, my name is Tess, and I'll be reading a villanelle. So, hope you like it. Dead end. Let's see what we can find behind the door. Paint youth's toy race car pink, dull motors glow. Trade stories with the silent minotaur. Spend sun-faded hours, ask for more. Spin ill-fated wheels, your own game show. Let's see what we can find behind the door. My quiet captor's careless civil war forgets the silent mind, will not borrow. Trade stories with the silent minotaur. We made plans, but what for? Stay a moment, hand-carved afterglow. Let's see what we can find behind the door. No race car sheen, our fragile carnivore trails footsteps in a darkened indigo. Trade stories with the silent minotaur. I wonder when my mind will cease its war. When labyrinth walls collapse, come see our show. Let's see what we can find behind the door. Trade stories of the silent minotaur. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Jing Jing, and I will be reading a sestina. So this is called Poem for a Pre-Professional Poisson. So and so would like to connect. Everyone is a potential connection on LinkedIn. Even if you've never met them in real life, you still know about their offers and how thankful they are for their mentors, their friends, their parents, their goldfish. No wonder I have the memory span of a goldfish, crashing headfirst into glass walls stuck in a silicon neck. The economies of scales. Keep the newsfeed all full, clog the whirlpool of LinkedIn with every sellable skill you have to offer. Prioritize your virtual corpus before corporeal life. Dip into the highlight reel life. Try LinkedIn Premium Gold. Fish for the landslide of compliments about your offers. Keep quiet about how you had your dad connect you with his old business partners, linking your resume in his emails. That's what family is for. We're all adults now, but it's like we are four. Playing pretend in the playground away from real life. Playing when I grew up with friends, arms linking. Telling the class you own a pet shark, but really it's a goldfish. Puffing yourself up in Let's Pretend, trying to connect with all the other kids, showing all you have to offer. All this self-care and self-development only to offer ourselves to selfish companies. That's all we are for. Capitalism turns us cold, what it means to connect. This is just college. What will be real life? Corporate glass bubbles stunt the growth of goldfish, so they'll forever fit the blue pool of LinkedIn. Pay attention, or you'll blink and you'll miss it. My friend told me she'd gone off her job search. My mouth gaped open like a goldfish. I've decided to figure myself out. That's what these months are for. I've got the rest of my life to work. For now, I'd like to live a real life. Some feeling returned back to me, a memory I could connect to when I watched giant gold fish floating through the Mekong River. Carp fins are for swimming through streams that connect and offer sustenance to schools linked into real life's pace.
Hey y'all, my name is Joanna, and I'm reading Villanelle. Corazón, mi hogar. Home is where no one starts singing until everyone is there. Nightmare is the window of terror I watch from as they sing. But there are no real windows here from which to stare. I follow the window like Alice runs after the hare, with every step an off-key note, a tear in a heartstring. Home is where no one starts singing until everyone is there. The pistachio green hall stretches, portraits, sinister and stare. Illustrate a couple in black, me in red, rosy cheeks flushing. Older, the couple sings beyond the eerie window's glare. Baby, another daughter, impatiently watches the affair. And I run, cheeks heartbreak red. Past portraits spinning, home is where wet paintings sing when I'm not there. I haven't been home for every birthday. It's only fair. For them to sing without me, they shouldn't cling. There are no real windows here from which to stare. From the nauseating hall, I scream, hear me, my prayer. Baby takes a big breath to save a burning candle, singed string. Home is where no one starts singing until everyone is there. I am not there. I am not there. I'm here as I frantically tear through my blankets in the sound of a tired breath spring. It isn't a real window from which to stare. Phone in hand, I dial through cloudy vision as tears dare to fall while listening to the other line incessantly ring. Home is where no one starts singing until everyone is there. Corazón. I hear mom's saddened voice declare.
Hi, my name is Emma, and I am going to be reading a Villanelle. Inheritance on the Coast. As seas encroach on higher shores, I prepare to receive Atlantic, whose oceanic lungs breathe a wasteful tale with no encore. Shuddering in her own slick, Atlantic implores, in the language of plastic bottles, human flung, seas encroach on higher shores. Used tires, styrofoam cups, what eyesores. A nearby house, filled with nursery rhymes sung, breathes its own wasteful tale without encore. The coastline is laden with litter, rightly tossed ashore, rejected by Atlantic's briny tongue. At high tide, she cries, seas encroach on higher shores. Her rasping voice we continue to ignore, but those of experts to which we have clung breathe their own tale. There will be no encore. We, children of greed, now have something to care for. An earth whose seas sing and have long sung, seas encroach on higher shores, seas encroach on higher shores. We too breathe that ancient wasteful tale, praying for an encore. Thank you.
I've got you all, right? Everyone? Okay. Thank you. That was so exciting to hear how those poems have been revised and become more themselves. This is a very rare experience for me, but I did not actually want that reading to end. So before we give everyone another round of applause, I want to announce that most of the readers have brought something that they, some food or drink or sweet that reminds them or speaks to their own childhood or sense of home. And you can actually read next to what they brought their description of it and memory of it. And I really hope that you will stay and feast with us in the other room. And again, thank you to this marvelous class.